Hello and welcome back to a Kooky corner of YouTube, where today we are going to be making something from a whole pile of scraps, but no sewing involved, not one stitch, not even slightly. And what we're going to make are these little pots, and it's super sturdy, but it's all made out of fabric and glue. At the minute it's housing this whole array of art supplies that I've got in here, because I thought I just wanted to show you that it can actually hold a fair amount of stuff in there, and even room for more. But it's really simple. It's something you can do with, if you've got some younger members of your family and you want to make something really simple out of all those little bits of scraps that you have left. And I know we make a lot of things out of scraps here on the Kooky Corner channel, but this is something where you don't need to worry about stitching. If you can't stitch, if you don't want to stitch, then this is something really simple that you can make. It does get slightly messy, I will warn you of that, so if you don't like mess, then maybe not, but I think it's worth it. It's a super quick thing that you can make, especially in this weather where it's nice and dry, because it's going to be a gluey thing. But it's all made from things that you might have around your house, or you probably, if you're a stitcher, or you've got old bits of fabric and things, you know, it's something that you would have. Sorry about the scratchy noises. So this is what we're going to be making. You don't have to add any pom-poms on, but I'm extra, so I did. Do like a little pom-pom here and there. So what you're going to need: scraps of fabric in all different colours of your choice. I went blues last time, blues and greens, so this time I'm going to be like vibrant yellows, citrusy kind of colours. So you need a fair few of those. I'll pre-warn you that you will need to snip these up beforehand, because once you get going, your hands are going to be a bit gluey. So probably not the best thing to be trying to cut up with your best scissors some nice fabrics and things. You will also need some plain fabric, and I've got some more of this that I'm going to chop up in a minute, because I may need a bit more of this. This goes in the middle of, it's like a sandwich. There's 3 layers. You have a layer of fabric, a layer of the plain fabric, and then a layer of fabric, and in between that, lots of glue. Now, what are we going to use as a mould, you say, Kooky? What are you going to use? Well, what I am going to use is a milk carton. Well, not the whole of a milk carton. It is part of a milk carton. The bottom half, so to speak. Now, what you want to do is to cut it down to the size you want. If you want it the same size as, well, this one, then you probably cut it about so far above the label, maybe. I'm using the label as a guide, but I can measure this one for you if you like. Let's have a little look measure wise. So centimeters wise, it's probably about 10 centimeters, or in inches, probably about 4 inches. It's a 4-inch high, and it is about 5.5 inches or 14 centimeters wide. But obviously you can make whatever size you want to make. You just cut your mould to size. So you could go half size if you wanted a nice shallow dish for whatever it is you want to put in it. It really is up to you. And what we're going to do, first of all, you're going to grab yourself some cling film or saran wrap, or whatever it is you call this stuff in your part of the world. Now, my trouble is trying to get this to come out of the box. Excuse me while I extricate it from the box, and I'll be back. I'm back, having wrestled with the cling film, which is possibly the most difficult part of this whole thing. Let's get myself settled. Yeah, so now I have covered my mould. This is so that we can get a nice release from the when the fabric's wrapped around it and glued down. Now I'm going to tape this down only because once you start gluing and it starts to flail up at you like a weird octopus, maybe that's just me, it just gets in the way. So the other thing you might need and you might want to do is to grab yourself a rather large elastic band. I put mine there. That might hold it down a bit. So I'm going to make mine a little bit shorter this time. So if you want to make one mould but be able to make different sizes, then the elastic band's going to be a guide all the way around of where you want to be stopping. What you might want to just do with that. I didn't use it the first time, so that's up to you. It's completely up to you. So now we need to get ourselves some glue. And the glue that I used it's Elmer's, but it's not the school glue. Come with me. Let's walk. Well, I'm walking, you're not. Now we have to find the said glue because it's hiding on one of my shelves. I have it. I have achieved the level of the glue. And what I'm using is this. It's an Elmer's glue all. You could use Mod Podge. This is just an Elmer's glue all extra strong formula for household repairs, craft projects and more. So any kind of white glue, your wood glue that you have around will do. And you want it full strength, so don't water it down because that's just going to be a hot mess, believe me. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to grab myself my brush. I'm going to put some of this in a little pot because it just makes it easier to dip my brush into, and we'll get started. Okay, things are about to get messy. Oh, as if it's any different here. Another thing I thought of is in the bottom of this pot. Let me just show you this one again. Can you see that? I've got all my orts in the bottom because it kind of uses those up and gives that a little bit of strength, and it just gives a little bit of added interest, I think. And it's a great way to use up any scraps of thread you've got. So for that, I have grabbed out a whole host of little bits and bobs that I keep in a jar. This is the jar. And so I've got loads of little bits of thread in there. So this is going to be the messiest bit. In my jar, I've got my glue. I've got a very big old brush here, but it does work rather nicely and it does clean up very well. So I'm just going to paint a layer of this on to start with. And soon it will get messy. I do love this brush. It's just got a super long handle. I wanted to get a short handled version of this, but could I find a short handled version of this? I could not. So long handled one it is, and it's just going to get in the way. And if you're interested, it's a Catalyst 12 for Princeton, and it's a poly tip bristle filbert. Oh yes. So there we are. Don't be shy with your glue. We're going to need quite a bit. So I'm going to see if I can rest that there. This dangerous escapade I'm doing here. I'm just trying to... Last time I kind of lumped it on because it was a last minute thought. I thought, oh, I'll try that. But now I'm going to try and be a bit more, I don't know. I don't look like I'm putting much more thought into it, do I? Let's be honest. But, you know, we're just giving it a go. We're playing around and using up things that would otherwise be thrown in the bin. And we're making it useful. That's what wombles do. Making good use of the things that we find. things that the everyday folks leave behind, to quote Mike Bat. Right, okay. I've kind of got all that on there as much as is possible. And now, this is where the messy bit starts. Everything I do is messy, believe me. I'm going to try and coat it whilst keeping it in place. This is the most difficult part of it all. If you want to do this, feel free to miss out this step if you don't want to do it, because I just like getting messy and covered in glue bits of thread. But I just thought it was a really cool way of using them up, and I did try it and it did work. So otherwise, if it would have not worked, I wouldn't be here today showing it. There wouldn't have been anything untoward happen to me, but I wouldn't have been using this method. Let's just put it that way. So you want these threads to be soaked in this Comfy glue. Well, the glue's not comfy, it's actually rather nice. And it's not too smelly. And because it can be used in schools, it is non-toxic. So it's all good. Dries fast, that's what we need. Okay. This is where I end up looking like I've been tarred and feathered. You'd be able to spot me if you were in my town walking down. I'd be the woman with glitter and glue stuck to her and odd threads hanging off her clothing from where she's had some kind of a crafting accident. Who knows? Okay. Right. I say that's enough orts on there. And I've got a load of other orts left over that I can happily add in. Now, as I said, there are going to be 3 layers on this. And this is the optional ort bottom layer. I just think it looks kind of funky when it shows through the bottom. Kind of enjoy that. Make sure that's all stuck on. You do use a fair amount of glue, so just be aware of that fact. But if you're anything like me, if you have piles of wood glue, kind of Elmer's glue hanging around, that's just waiting to be used. Okay, now the thing also that you need to know for the first layer is that anything that you put on it is going to show through on the inside. So my suggestion is that fabrics face inwards for the first layer. So I'm going to stick it on my hand like a weird glove. And I'm going to paint down this bit here, including the orts. Arrange themselves on the top there. I'm going to kind of overlap, oh, the wrong way around already, overlap the orts with the fabric. That's the plan anyway. And then, as you do with collage, cover it in glue. Okay. So working my way downtown, walking fast. No, I'm not doing that. I am working my way around this milk bottle base. What did you do the top? One says. Well, I will tell you. I'm getting messy now, sticking my fingers in it. I think the top of them you make great funnels, so I've kept it in the kitchen to use as a funnel. Also good for you, like if you're putting stray beads away. It's a good thing to have to put your stray beads in. Okay, stick you down, and then if it's not stuck down far enough, whack it with a load of glue. Just make sure it's thoroughly soaked with the glue and it's sticking down to that base. This globule of ort just wants to be part of the main thing, but I'm just going to let it do what it does. I'm going to let it be because I kind of like how things just end up just being what they are. Okay, let me grab out some. I'm saving the brightly coloured stuff for the top layer. I say brightly coloured and you say, it's all brightly coloured. What are you talking about? I'm talking about the pattern stuff, that's what I mean. Make sure that all the layers do have like an attachment to them. I'm going to put a bit in there just to overlap there, and I'm going to slap some more glue on. The most difficult thing apart from sticking the orts to the bottom, is the fact that you have to wait a little bit before you can do the next layer. I don't wait too long. I don't wait for it to thoroughly dry, because it would take forever. But not in this weather. The weather we've got at the minute in the UK, it is quite warm, and so it will dry quickly. I'm just moving this brush out of the way. This starting to regret this very, very long-handled brush. I don't really regret it, but it just kind of gets in the way a little bit. Now, I am sure you don't want to sit and watch me work all my way around this and listen to all my ramblings. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to finish this one layer, and I'm going to come back to you when it's all coated and finished. So you just want to take it to the height you want it. If you want it there, you could leave it there, or you could take it up. You can trim this afterwards, by the way. Once it's all dried, it's trimmable. But I'm just going to carry on, and then I'll be back when I've got my first layer all done. Okay, I'm back, and that is the first layer of fabric gone down. As I said, it's facing inwards, so the right side of it facing inwards, because that's what you're going to see on the inside of your vessel. So I have gone over the orts as well, which is going to make this bit much easier, she said, hopefully. I've got a little bit of glue on my fingers, but not much, and I haven't got anything on myself yet, so that's a bonus win. So this is where you bring in your plain coloured fabric. You don't have to use plain coloured fabric. I am using the plain coloured fabric because I think it leaves, it kind of shows you when you've finished one layer, if you see what I mean. If you did all coloured fabric, then you wouldn't know where your first layer had begun and end, would you? So for that reason, I am sticking with the plain fabric, and I'm just going to patchwork it on like Frankenstein's monster. The pieces need to be fairly sort of not too small, not too big. You don't want tiny little pieces. Well, you could do, but it's going to take you a lot longer. But they do need to overlap each other. So this second layer is just adding in your plain fabric. I'm going to try and stick it over my hand again. It's strange, like hand puppet at the minute. No, I'm not. Yes, you are. You're a very strange hand puppet. So let's pop that one there. Soak it through with glue. Actually, it's quite therapeutic. This is quite a nice thing to do. You don't have to think too much, especially once you've got the orts down. I think the orts are the difficult thing to stick on, but I think they're worth it. You know, I think it's just a nice little decorative thing, and also using them up. They're not getting thrown away. And another thing that you could use them in is if you're making your own paper fabric, which is something I intend to do at some point as well. If you're interested in that process, I've made it before and I thoroughly enjoy it, and I use it. I used to use it when I was making cards, actually, because it's a really nice base for putting other things on top of. see me use my fingers because I can't keep my fingers out. But yeah, it's a bit like, I don't know what it's like actually. It is papier-mâché. It's kind of like a papier-mâché kind of thing. And you can do this over a balloon shape, but you'd have to figure out some kind of a base. So you'd have to put some cardboard in maybe as a base for it to be able to stand. Perhaps. I don't know. Give it a go. See how it goes. I have a feeling that would be a bit more messy than my hand puppet. But, you know, you like getting messy. There we go. I just thought some of you may enjoy this little process. Make yourself a few little pots. I actually wanted one to put my my clips in, you know, my sewing clips, because they're in a box at the minute, but I wanted them on my desk. You know, I could just dabble my hand in, whereas they're in a really useful box. That's what they're called, really useful boxes, for anybody who didn't know. And I have to keep clipping the lid off. Got a little gappage there. You'll do. You'll do, donkey. You'll do. Stick that in there. Yeah, so just keep making sure that everything's stuck down nicely and it's all thoroughly soaked with glue. I'm going to finish this layer off, and again, I'll be back when I've done this layer. So that's all completed. It is mummified and it looks like it's covered in bandages. So the next thing is the final layer. I'm just going to smooth around these, just make sure all these edges are down. Because it doesn't really matter because it will dry, but I kind of just want it to be a bit smoother on some of these joins. Okay, so you know what I'm going to say now? The next layer, and the next layer faces upwards. So slap it on again. You can see what I mean. You do use a fair amount of glue. I've probably used about a third of this huge, big 16 fluid ounces bottle of glue, but that's made 2, so that's not bad going really. So this goes face up. Oh, don't crease it. This is going to be your final layer. The final countdown. Okay. Sorry, I don't mean to subject you to my hugely bad singing. I put it on. Did I put it on the wrong way? I don't know anymore. I think I did. Turn it round. This is easier said than done. It's a good example of what not to do, isn't it? Put it on the wrong way. Yeah, that's the side we want. That's the side we want. Pig. There we go. Okay. Now, soak it down. See, I got so used to doing it the other way. Slap it on. Bang a gun. Nice bit of sunny flower. Come on. So there's mainly 3 layers on this. I would say where you overlap a bit, you probably get quite a bit more on there. And you can add another layer in if you wanted to be extra, but I don't think you actually need it. I'm just going to make sure that's coated. That will dry clear, so it's all good. Let's have a bit of this pretty one. I know it's on the bottom, but hey. Do, 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 do. Happy song. Okay, got a little bit of cloudy rainbows. Let's have some of that on there. I'll try and get rid of some of these threads as I go along as well. Go on down there. This big brush is just getting in my way. And a bit of that orange the right way. Down there. Slap it all over. Okay. And I think you know the drill by now. You just keep going. So just keep swimming until it is done. And for this final layer, as I say, just try and keep those stray threads. I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's just me being me. But I kind of just want to keep them out of the way. Slapping it on and sticking it down. Oh, I've got an ice cream piece here. Let's have that one. Go on you go. There we go. Stick it down. These are just scraps from paper and string. They actually sell these as a thing, and I think it's £3 a bag, and you get a whole load of like ends of fabrics to use. But also I've got a lot of my own little bits and pieces in here that I have gathered over the years. And it's just great for using them up. It's kind of deciding which bits go where. There we go, got some spotty green. I did say citrus, but I kind of added in all kinds of different colours on this, didn't I, really? But, you know, I like them all the colours. I just used my mouth to remove a piece of thread there. That wasn't the best plan ever. Didn't get any glue on myself. It's all good. I did get a mouthful of thread though, which is not as nice. I'm going to try and alternate the way I do these around a bit as well. Let's this one. Let's have that one there, like so. But I've turned it the wrong way around again. Look at me. What am I like? I can hear you all shouting at the screen saying, that's the wrong way round. I know, I know. And another one here. Let's go a bit more of this bright rainbowy cloudy fabric. Rainbow. Raindrop. Yes. It's hardly a rainbow. Let's have some flowers now. Because where there's rain, there's flowers, isn't there? That's what I say. So we'll get that one on there. Isn't this fun? Messy but fun. You can trust me to bring you something messy but fun, though. That's a promise. Ooh, I don't want that. It's too plain. Let's go for the ice cream fabric again. I quite like that. Making sure I'm overlapping the edges, although it doesn't matter so much, but for this one, I just don't want that creamy fabric to show through. On the first layer, you want it all to be holding together. But then, oh, again, nearly went the wrong way. Let's go up a bit with that one. Smooth it on. La la la, la la la. Okay, I'm going to speed through this bit and then I'll be back when I'm finished. Okay, so it's now all coated. I'm just picking off a few strands here, double checking it as I'm looking and making sure that everything's stuck down and coated, and just being a bit pedantic now about these little bits, but I'm going to take them off anyway. There we go. And now we wait. We leave this to dry. Overnight, by morning, it will probably have dried on the outside. Then what we will have to do is to take that the cling film saran wrap from the inside and then let the inside dry out, which doesn't take too long, especially in this warm weather, as I said. So what I'm going to do now is clean up, and I'll be back in the morning to have a look, see how it's got on. So it's time to remove the middle. I'm pulling up the saran wrap here, or cling film, from the sides just to loosen it off. It comes off really easily. You just have to give it a little bit of coaxing to get it out, and just loosen the edges. Try not to pull it out of shape too much when you do this. It will hold its shape. It is fairly hard on the outside, but the inside is still kind of a little bit wet, so we have to be a little bit careful, because it will set in the shape that it's left in. And so we just gently pull that out. And I've noticed that in the bottom, when I take the saran wrap out, the orts haven't set at all properly as yet, because there's quite a few of them. So I am going to just tamp those down with my hand and then a little tool, just to make sure that they're all getting coated in the glue that's still in there, that still has yet to dry. And in a couple of hours time, if I leave this in a nice warm place, this will all be beautifully dry and ready for me to add my finishing touches to. This is just tamping down those bits to make sure that they are fully coated and in the mix. And then we can just leave this to sit in the sunshine and soak up the sun and dry off. Okay, so we have removed the inner of our pot, and I've let the inside set. It's not completely set, but I can carry on, and that will continue to do its own beautiful thing. What I want to do is to trim this top slightly. I don't want to give it any major haircut, but it does need a little trimmage. I'm not making this look easy, am I? It really is. It snips through quite well, actually. And kind of get rid of the rough edges. Not that that's a big deal. But it just finishes it off a little better. Oops. Got all kinds of things on my desk at the moment. Right. So the final thing that we need to do, oh, there's a bit there. Let's snippage that off. There we go. I'll get rid of all those bits because I don't want them glued to anything. Scrape them off and get rid of them. Come here, come to me. Right, let's put those in the bin. I've got my hot glue gun charged and ready, because what I want to do to finish this off is to add some pom-pom trim, because pom-pom trim makes everything better. I can't decide which bit I want to be the front. That bit, let's go with that bit there. There's a piece of wool here that's annoying me. It needs to go over there. Right, I also need clips. I don't think I do. If I just make a start at the back here, then we should all be good. Okay, so let's see if my glue gun is charged. Is it releasing? It's not switched on, is it? I'll come back when it's hot enough. Okay, now I have got my glue gun ready. I've done a preliminary stickage there. I'm just going to put a bit more down there to finish that off later. This glue gun is super hot, I have to say. Right, I'm going to do this in stages. I'll whack a bit of glue down, stick a bit of trim down. That's the method. It's very technical. Oh, heck. Don't pull it off when you've got it on. That's the other bit. Hold it. Don't put your fingers in hot glue is another tip I have. There we go. Up to there. Whack on our trim. Leave it on there for a minute. I have to say the inside's looking pretty cool. I love those orts. I've got bits of glue gun gump going around now. But look at them, they look so pretty. A great way of using them up and strengthening the base of your pot. Now, I originally saw this, I think, a couple of months ago on Pinterest. Can't actually remember where it was, but I will find out and put the notes in below, just to give credit to the person who came up with this idea. So I think it's awesome. Right, next bit. See, now I wasn't worried about that thread there because I knew it was going to be covered up by this trim. As long as I don't twist my pom-poms, we're all good. No one wants a twisted pom-pom. Ooh, didn't stick your finger in the glue either. No one wants third-degree burns either. Right, here we go. Pop it down, 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 down to there. Oh, I'm pushing it a bit now. Come on, come on, come on. There we go. Almost around. Where do we get to there? Okay. Don't want it to peel off. Come on. This bit goes to there. Bring it round. Bringing it round. Squishing it down. Ooh. Again, getting glue on my hands. Don't squish hard is my top tip for today, because there are holes in this trimming and it kind of squills through a bit of all those gluey bits. Okay, next bit down here. Almost there, almost there. Okay. And the last melon goes here, like so. I might even trim. No, I'm going to stick that bit down. I'm going to stick that bit. I'm going to trim it and stick it. That's what I'm going to do. Double whammy. Okay, last bit of glue in there. I might have overdone that slightly, but hey, I need to press everything. Okay, that's a do for now. Clean it off. Come on, maybe not that. Let's use the end of this pencil to press it. That's it. And there it is. A little pot, handy pot to put things in, as Eeyore might say. And I have plans for this one. But plans change. It could end up with anything in it. But look, I think it's really pretty. What do you think? Let me know in the comments. Tell me what colours you'd do if you made one of these. Would you use the alt bottom? I quite like that idea because it's reusing bits that will get thrown away, and it really does strengthen that base. It is quite a sturdy pot. You can knock on it. Okay, hope you've enjoyed this. If you have enjoyed it, show me a thumbs, give me the thumbs up. And if you like the content that we do here at Kooky Corners, then please consider subscribing, because then you can click on that bell and you'll get notifications every time I upload something. That's it for now. Have a great rest of your day, and I will be back here again soon with something else. Bye for now.